It is a beautiful morning in the mountains of southern Appalachia. Matt and I are out and about early today, and we're going to try to get a lot of things done. First of all, we're going to weed eat and mow. You can probably hear Matt, he's already started. Get everything straightened up, and then we're going to do our first real planting of the year. We're going to plant maybe some cucumbers, hope to do that, and also our beans and maybe some butter beans and peas. We'll see how far we get on that. Some of our beds still need some work before we can plant in them. We need to add some compost and even some additional dirt to some of the raised beds on the bank. And then in the big garden, Matt still needs to till it before we can plant our corn down there. So we're not quite ready for that, but hopefully we can get a good start today. Got the yard mowed, weed eated, everything looks really nice, and we've sort of changed horses in midstream. We were going to go straight to planting the beans and the cucumbers and things like that, but then we got to looking at the raised beds and thinking we should go ahead and get those, the ones that Matt got me for Christmas, get them situated. So you can see behind me where we've chose to put them. Now there is one more, but we're going to give that one to Corey. When Corey and Austin sold their house and moved over here with us in my brother's house, she left all of her raised beds. The lady that bought the house asked for them, and they really wanted to sell the house, so they left them there. So I'm going to give her that other one, and hopefully in the next week or so she can plant a few things in it. She's not going to have a big garden like they did last year, of course, because she's expecting the baby. So Matt's went down the hill to get some of the dirt that we got so that he can bring it up here with the tractor and start filling the beds. This one right here, this first one right here, we put it right by our apple tree, so kind of like we probably shouldn't put it there, but I think it'll be okay because I already know what I want to put in it, and I want to put strawberries in it. I'm going to take my strawberries out of the green stalks and I'm going to put them in that. And that way, in the spring of the year, the trees won't be leafed out. That's when the strawberries really, come on good for us here in this area before it gets too hot. So I think that'll be an okay place for them. If not, we'll have to figure out how to move it, but I think it'll be okay. I've had the strawberries in the green stalks for the past 3 or 4 years, and I thought that they did okay, but then the more that each year I would think, but are they doing okay, or are they just producing a strawberry here and there? And I've just decided I want to try them in something different. Now, I'm not a professional strawberry grower. Pap and Granny never had them when I was growing up, and I don't know much about them. I've tried to learn a little bit. Some of you shared stuff with me, but it's not like I'm an expert at all in growing them. And, I think strawberries are one of those things that can be kind of finicky too, so whether they like it here on the north side of the mountain, I'm not sure about that either. But I am going to try in there. As far as the green stalks, I'm not sure what I will do with them. I may give one of them to Corey, since she had to leave hers over there. I'll have to ask her if she wants it. She may not want it. And then with the other one, I might just try putting flowers in it this year. I think nasturtiums would be pretty in it because they would flow down, but I don't know. I'll have to see about that. And as far as the other 2 beds over there, I'm not sure what we'll put in those. Maybe peppers in one, might go in one of them, and then we'll have to see about the other one. I hear Matt coming though now with the first load of dirt. I told Matt that was the easiest raised bed we've ever filled. It would have been great if he could get the tractor close enough to it to actually dump it, but even just shoveling it in, that was so much easier than what we usually have to do. So tractor saves the day again. He went back down the hill to get another load. He thinks that'll be enough to fill the 2 round ones, and then we'll top them off with compost, and then we'll be ready to figure out what to put in them. I'm not sure if if we'll just jump from this to once we get them filled, to something else, to planting the beans and stuff. Some of the strawberries that I want to put in there, I don't want to move them right now because they've got strawberries on them, so I don't want to disturb them until those strawberries ripen and we eat them. And then after that I can concentrate on putting them in this one. And we'll have to see about the other two. My first plan when Matt got those round ones, the reason I really wanted one of them, he knew for Christmas, he got them for me for Christmas, but was I wanted to put my hyssop out of this herb bed behind me. It's so, so beautiful. I wanted to put it in there. But now that, now that summer's here and I'm thinking about vegetables, maybe I want to put some vegetables in it instead. Matt's ideal was to put the peppers in it, so we may end up just doing that in those two. We usually put the peppers in the raised beds here where we have this arch, but when Matt retrofitted them, which is so nice, looks so much better and more sturdy and will last years and years and years, I know. The logs that we had used were rotting away. Anyway, we usually put the peppers in here, like in front of the cucumbers, but doing that, he had to make the beds slightly smaller. He had to bring them in, so I guess there'd still be room on the opposite sides of the arch, but anyway, we'll see about that, or maybe there'll be room for something else. One thing I definitely want to try, since we've had so much trouble with the squash bugs in our cucumbers for the past few years, is people keep telling me that I need to plant nasturtiums, and I do plant nasturtiums in those beds, but then someone said, no, Tipper, you got to plant them right with the cucumbers. So I'm going to try that. I'm actually going to put some nasturtiums in my row of cucumbers. And then I'm also going to plant some radishes. Somebody told me, radishes will keep them away. So I'm going to try both those things. And then I've got a few other things I'm going to try this year that people have given me tips about, and hopefully we can win the battle against the squash bug. We've about wore ourselves out.
Yeah, it didn't take much for me.
And we ain't even done what we said what our main goal was to plant. But here comes our Puma cat, basement cat. Hey, Binks.
Come here, Binkers. Come here.
But we're going to. Matt's already, I've been in the house trying to find all my seeds, and he's been down plowing up the area where we'll put the beans. So we're going to do the cucumbers, and then we'll go down there. So I was going to go ahead and try to be organized again. Thank you so much to the person that sent me these last year. I'm going to use them again. Try to be organized. And we're only going to plant cucumbers on our arch this year. We usually do like a few melons. They never do any good anyway. We're just not going to do it. Not going to do it. We're going to do all cucumbers. And we're going to try to save them right from the squash bugs.
I guess I'll set out here with a shotgun if you want me to.
I think a shotgun might be much. I like to do the Arkansas Little Leaf. I love that cucumber, so I definitely do it. I like the Boston Pickling cucumber. I love the Silver Slicer. Those do really good for us. Some of these are just the same ones. And then our friend Solly sent us these last year, white cucumber seeds, so we're going to try those for Solly and see what we think about them. And the only other one I thought I would try was this Sumter from M.I. Gardner. That's where I got it. And it just says they're renowned for their exceptional productivity, producing symmetrical and straight cucumbers with a vibrant green color and tender, firm flesh. And they only get about 6 inches long when they're fully mature. Known for their vigorous growth and high yield. So we'll see. We've never tried those before. So I'm going to go ahead and write so we'll know what they are. Okay, now we'll just have to figure out how many of each to do. And then what people have told me is that the nasturtiums will help, so we're going to plant a few nasturtiums in the cucumbers, and then I think I'm going to surround them with radishes, and we'll see if that helps. This is all the things people's told me. We're also going to make like a spray out of, I have saved some of our hot peppers from last year and dried them. We're going to grind those up and then add garlic. There's recipes online. I'll have to refresh my memory. People have sent them to me. And make like a spray and try spraying that on them maybe once a week. that'll be the hard part, to remind yourself to do it every week. And see if that helps.
I'm learning all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, learning all your chores.
I didn't know none of this.
Yeah.
I might have should have not skipped school.
I'm just going to try my best to beat them off. Of course, the best, I mean, what we found in the past that works the best is just, you can't stay on top of it, is just to go out there and hand pick them off and look for their eggs and, you know, get rid of their eggs. We did turn the gardens over several times this winter, at least 3 times, didn't we?
Yeah.
So hopefully that cold got rid of some of them. I don't know. Anyway, that's what we're gonna try, and we're gonna hope for lots of cucumbers because we're out of pickles. Why is it so low? Is that like a jet from Andrews? Oh, it ain't Hank Jr.
Probably heading to do a concert at the Young Harris. Am I trying to save this free bean here?
No, whatever you want to do. Really, is that a plane from Andrews? Is that why it was so low?
Well, it don't have to be from Andrews to be low.
Well, I mean, I know, but I was thinking like it just took off.
Well, we're about 20-some miles. If they can't get no higher than that between there, they're probably wrecking.
Oh, gosh, okay. Anyway, it just looked like one of those small jets you see up there.
It takes them about 30 minutes to get elevation.
Well, that's no sillier than you thinking it's Hank Williams Jr.
I'm just making a joke.
Okay, we're getting silly. We're on our last chore of the day, though. Well, I say that, and then Matt's going to go help Corey do something, but mostly our chores here will be done after this. So what we decided to do is our 2 long panels, we're going to plant one whole long one of the rattlesnake beans that we've just fallen in love with because they're just so prolific. We like how they taste. They're great. So we really enjoy them. And now we know, after last year's the first year, we dried, you know, the last picking, we canned so many beans, the last picking we just let dry, and then we shelled those out to eat as dried beans during the winter, and we found out we like them. We like them like that. So we're going to do one long row of that. Then there's 6 panels on that long stretch there, or 6 little squares, I guess is the way I'm thinking of it. And we're going to do we got 3 different ones. We're going to do 2 panels of each of these. The first one is the preacher bean. This is one that Debbie from Bryson Farm Supply shared with us last year, dear sweet Debbie, and we just loved it. Out of all the ones we planted, it was our favorite. It was so prolific, it was really tasty, and she had already told me that it's like her favorite, so we really loved that one. We're going to do it again. We're going to do last year, John Sullivan, so kind, sent me a whole bag full of speckled butter beans, and we really loved those. All those beautiful, pretty colors. They were so pretty. So, and we had those in the back last year, but we're going to do 2 panels of those. And then this is one that a brand new one that we're going to try. Susie Vanderleith, I hope I'm saying that right, sent it to me, and it is Good Mother Stallard, however you say that, pole bean. Really pretty bean, like mottled, like a maroon color with white. Really, really pretty. And the description, Corey, could you hand me, you see that? Corey just happens to be walking Olive here. That one, yeah, and I was going to read about it and show it, yeah. So that's it, if you can see there. Really, really pretty. And it says, this gorgeous show-stopping pole variety has a creamy texture and pleasant meaty flavor. The beautiful maroon and white color will remain as it is cooked. That's interesting. Those butter beans, they don't keep their beautiful color, making it a beautiful addition to soups. The 5 to 6 inch long pods will dry to produce 5 to 6 rounded beans per pod. Expect abundant production all season long. So I just couldn't resist that. I want to try it. So thank you, Susie, for sending it. And then also the name of it, Good Mother. I told Matt, I said, if there's ever a year we need to plant this one for the mothers, it's this year. Thinking about Corey and Katie, you know, Katie having Ira and Corey being expectant. So it's really a blessing to us, both of those events. So I said, this is the year definitely to try this one. So now Matt's, I think, getting the rows hoed out there, and I'm going to start putting the beans in. Wonder Power. Is that what it was? Wonder Power? What was it?
Wonder Twins powers activate.
Oh.
Something like that.
Well, you tired?
Mm-hmm.
Me too. We got a lot done though.
Yeah, we did.
We didn't even think we were going to do those raised beds, so that feels good to have those done.
Mm-hmm. We ain't planting nothing in them.
No, but we will. Now that's the hard part. The planting part will be easy. You want to put peppers in the round ones, you said. Yeah.
Good place for them. That way get them away from the cucumbers and it won't be such a mess.
Yeah. It's got rather warm today.
Gosh, yeah, it has.
I think maybe our cold weather's gone for good.
Yep.
Think so?
It'll be a cool night here and there, but it shouldn't be much more cold weather.
The next major thing we have to plant the tomatoes and the peppers, and then also the corn is our main thing that we want to get planted. And what else? Squash and zucchini and winter squash. And what have I forgotten? I hope to plant some of the Mississippi pink eye peas. We love those so much. Maybe put those on one of the raised beds up there. The bush variety. The Mississippi pink eye are really similar to the red. Red hull peas?
Yeah.
But I think the ones that we've had before, they were climbers, like they needed something to climb on. But the Mississippi pink eye were just bush peas.
Gosh, them things is good.
They're so good, yeah. Anything else you can think of?
That's about it, I guess. Yep.
Okra. I knew we were
Yeah.
forgetting something. Okra.
We should have done planted it, I guess.
Yeah. I've got some more onions I'd like to plant. And any watermelons or melons that we plant, I think we will this year. I don't know though. We said we was going to try some in those raised grow bags, not raised beds, but we are going to plant just one or two, not many, down at the big garden. In that there's an area that's got like a wet weather spring. Maybe plant them there. See what that does. I don't know. Anything else?
I don't think so. That's usually about all we plant, ain't it?
I feel like we're forgetting something, but maybe not.
Too tired to think about it.
Me too. Granny is continuing to do good, still doing good, being at home, still enjoying being in her own bed and her own bathroom and kitchen and her whole house, and she's still feeling better each day, getting her strength back. It'll take her a while, I'm sure, but she's getting there. She'd already lost a lot of weight, but she lost a lot of weight while she was in the hospital too, so she's trying to eat milkshakes and eat as much as she can, gain some of her weight back. And Corey had been down today to visit with her, and she was doing good, and I'm sure she enjoyed Corey being there. And then I think some of her cousins come to see her, so I know she enjoyed that.
Just need her big pan of fried taters and some meat.
Mm-hmm. I had to take her back to the doctor yesterday, and usually if we go to the doctor in Peachtree, she wants me to stop at the produce stand there. So I did this time, but she didn't get out of the car. She's too tired to get out, but I went in. She wanted green beans, of course, so I got her some green beans, and wanted some new little taters so she could put them in her green beans. And so we got home, and she just immediately wanted to break up those green beans, go ahead and get them broke up so that when she got ready to cook them, they'd be all ready to go. she's broke up so many green beans in her life that she's pretty quick about it. Of course, it was just a mess. It wasn't very many, but she lickety-split had them broke up and strung, and then was let me put them in the refrigerator so she'd have them when she was ready to cook them. Matt's still enjoying the tractor.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that made that putting in beds, filling in beds up just way faster and easier.
Well, we were teasing each other that we were so tired because this is really our first real full day of work, summertime work, mowing the yard and weed eating. Matt's been doing that, but it's my first time weed eating this year and mowing, but doing that and then just immediately jumping into the garden and stuff. So we were teasing that I said we need to get our, not sea legs, but I forgot what I said, and then Matt said, no, our gardening legs.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, that's it.
It ain't nothing that's hard, it's just the heat. It's what does it for me. I mean, I can shovel all day long, it's the heat that gets me.
And today's been a warm day.
Mm-hmm.
We did go in, of course, and eat dinner. While we were inside, we watched Matlock. That's
Yeah.
one of the things we like to watch is Matlock.
Yeah.
And we've seen them all, I'm sure.
Yeah, but we get sucked in and then can't leave.
Can't leave till you find out. Of course, you know Matlock's always going to come out on top. He's always going to prove who did it.
You can't get nothing by him.
I think we talked about this before, watching Matlock, but and it's part two. Is one of the neat things is just seeing the cars from the 80s
yeah.
and the way people dressed and all that. That's pretty neat.
What's crazy is it's just all immediately familiar, but it's odd at the same time because it's been so long since you've seen it, but you immediately
Yeah.
recognize it and remember it and all that, and then you think, well, golly, I ain't seen that in a long time.
Hairstyles and everything, yeah. This is the first time we've sit on was this my Mother's Day present last year, wasn't it?
Was it last year?
Or was it year before?
I don't remember. My second time on it, and I've been on it.
Oh, have you? You and Corey?
Yeah, we done it sitting here one time this year. So I'm one ahead of you.
I'm really grateful for Matt and Corey for handling everything while I was gone with Granny. Hard to believe she was in the hospital 19 days, but she was. One way it seemed like forever, another way it just seemed like it just all went by in a blur because we were so worried about her. And if you know how that goes, the long hospital stay, there's ups and downs, and right when you think everything's okay, it seems like it takes a turn for the worse, and then it's better, and then it's bad, but 19 days is a long time.
Gosh, yeah.
A lot of you have asked if we could talk to Granny. Hopefully when she gets to feeling better, we will. I tell her even if she don't want to show us how to do anything or anything like that, maybe she could just sit in the yard and talk to all of you and maybe share a story or something like that. Before she got sick, she'd been telling me that she wanted to show. Now I can't even remember what it was. It was how to make something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but she might not feel up to that now, but maybe in a few weeks she'd feel like sitting outside or something. I guess me and Matt hadn't even talked about it, but I guess we'll want to do her a garden. Add it to your list.
Yeah. Need to get with it if we're going to.
Need to get with it.
Rain's about to mess us up for a few days. That's one reason why we're mowing and gardening, doing everything as much as we can get done today. It's going to rain for 3 days, supposed to.
Which will be really good on
Yeah.
all those seeds we planted.
Yeah, but it's going to throw us off for probably a week on
Getting to do anything
getting
else.
in that big garden down there, and we need to get it. I wished it was already planted, tilled and planted, but it just ain't worked out that way. But we'll get it.
Granny's so crazy about green beans. So she'll want us to plant her. She likes cornfield beans. And we have plenty of rattlesnake beans to share with her, but she don't like rattlesnake beans. She turns her nose up at them, so. She liked the greasy beans that we grew for several years.
I like those too.
They just didn't put out like the rattlesnake.
Yeah, that's the biggest reason I like them rattlesnake beans is they put out and they make lots of jars.
Yeah.
And I
like the taste of them. Maybe my green bean palate isn't as refined as Granny's, but I really like them. I like the taste of them.
Yeah, I like them all right. I might possibly even like the greasies better a little bit, but not to the point, you know, the years we've grown them, we've struggled getting enough canned. And we never struggled with the rattlesnake beans. My goodness, when you get done canning, they're still putting out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can get them, save them for seed.
We did plant the 2 panels that we planted of the preacher bean. Granny would like those, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're good.
So if we can share those with her. I tried to get her I said, well, you could plant greasy beans down there or something more. The thing about cornfield beans is I think they take longer. I don't think they're as produce as much. They're not as prolific as even the greasy beans.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Now, her and Pap always planted white half runners, and that's a bean that really puts out.
Mm-hmm.
And I like them. I like them fine. But she always wants to do her cornfield beans, so that's what she does. Last year, her garden just done terrible. So maybe this year we can make sure we put some fertilizer on it, or compost on it before we ever start. Maybe that'll help.
The problem is it got neglected last year because we was with Mama.
Yeah, we was busy with Miss Cindy, and
ours got neglected as well.
Yeah.
It put out pretty decent, but it didn't. It grew up and just got away from us.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that won't happen this year, I hope.
I hope not. But yeah, we didn't get Granny's planted till really late, and then we just couldn't take care of it, yeah. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about Miss Cindy when we were planting the garden, what we planted today, mostly because of those cucumbers that we planted from her friend Solly. I said was our friend, and he is, but we met him through Miss Cindy. And it would tickle her to know that he had sent me some cucumber seeds and that we planted them. She would like that, wouldn't she?
Yeah, she would.
Most of our blueberry bushes, well, not most of them now because we've been planting more every year, but the oldest ones that we have, that's where they come from. They come from Solly.
And we've had them for 20 years.
Yeah, at least.
Maybe more.
He lived and worked at the same place Miss Cindy did in Black Mountain, and he lived in Black Mountain at that time, and he doesn't live there now, but he had a long row of, how long was that, of blueberries?
I don't remember, but it was, his blueberries bushes were, everything he had was just immaculately, and it just put out and it all looked good. He was a very good gardener.
He sure was, yeah. But he would, in those days, we would, especially me and Corey and Katie, Matt would go if he could, but every summer, in the end of the summer, we would go stay with her so we could go school shopping. So we could go, the list that each kid would get in those days. Mm-hmm. I guess they still do it like that. We'd go hunt for school clothes, but hunt for everything that was on the list, and hit all the thrift stores. Me and Miss Cindy and the girls all loved that. So anyway, but part of that was always getting to go to Solly's and pick blueberries, and I would eat them till I just couldn't eat them anymore. Blueberry and watermelon's my favorite fruits, and then he would usually have us some picked already, maybe 2 or 3 gallons, and then we would pick, and then he'd give them all to us, and we'd take them home, and they were really good. But
he had the prettiest, healthiest grapevines I've ever seen.
Oh, his grapes were beautiful. He'd share those with us, and he had pear trees. I think they were Asian pears. They were round, so y'all can tell me if I'm right about that. And they were just really good. And he would every year, just like I'd get a 5-gallon bucket full of pears from him. And I think he had 2 varieties, didn't he?
It seems like it.
But those round, you remember the round ones? They were really good. And I'd make pear preserves. Granny's Aunt Susie, her old recipe. It's very common. Other people used it too, but it's basically where you cut your pears and layer them with sugar and then let it sit overnight, and then the next day can them. Very similar, or it is the exact same recipe as the apples that I do that way too. I guess you could do any fruit. If we had ample peaches, we could do that with peaches. Anyway, but Matt's right, everything he grew was just amazing and immaculate too. Really neat and
Looked like out of a magazine.
yeah, out of a magazine. So anyway, she would be tickled to death to know that we planted some of Solly's cucumber seeds, and I hope they do good for us, and I'm sure they'll be delicious, or he wouldn't fool with them.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting to see. And I'm excited about the mother beans. I'm glad that Susie sent us those. Like I said, if there's ever a year for us to plant a bean that has mother in the name, this is it, since our daughters are becoming mothers, or one has become and one's about to, and making us old gray grandparents.
Yep.
So this is the year for them. I'll be excited about both of those, and excited to see if the nasturtiums and planting them in the cucumbers and the radishes, if that does anything. Even if it doesn't do anything, at least we'll know we tried that.
At least you'll have some radishes.
Yeah, at least I'll have some radishes to eat.
Yeah.
And some nasturtiums.
Yeah.
Somebody left a comment in the past few days that said they thought I should just make Matt a plate of nasturtiums for supper.
Are they good?
You've tasted them before. You know, you don't like them. They're like, have the same kind of peppery radish taste.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Matt don't like them.
It's crazy, too, because most any kind of pepper I like. I just don't like radishes.
And I like the heat of, I don't like hot peppers, but I like the spiciness of radishes and horseradish and ginger and things like that.
I thought this thing have axle grease.
What is the little candies Corey and Katie got me to eating them? Gin-gins, I think is the name of them. It's like ginger candy. And they're spicy, like hot, but it's the heat that I like that instead of the peppers. I don't know, bizarre. And then Matt don't like the heat of that.
Well, it ain't the heat, it's just the taste. I mean, it literally tastes like axle grease.
No, it does not.
Yeah, it does.
Have you ever ate axle grease?
Well, I had some get in my mouth a time or two working on something, and that's what it tastes like. And
Oh,
I don't
no.
want to eat that.
I don't think so.
It's just got a taste I don't like at all.
And
That's rare because I can eat almost anything, but I can eat them if I have to. I just don't like them.
Axle grease.
No.
I
Tastes
don't
like
think
them what
so.
come out of the inside of a truck axle. The tube in the axle is what it tastes like.
It's like the more that I eat ginger, the more I want it.
Maybe it's doing you some good.
Maybe I need it. Is that what these old
It is-
timers say?
yeah,
That
it is
what you
supposed
crave?
to be good for you.
Yeah, it is supposed to be good for you. I used to, when Corey and Katie was, I don't know, 5, 6 years old, something like that.
I don't think that statement's exactly right
What?
because I crave M&Ms all the time.
Oh, yeah, about it being good for you.
I don't eat them much,
Well, that's
but
what I
man,
was
like
going
'em.
to, here's you a good example I was going to say. I tried to get them to eat healthy, you know, I wanted them to, especially when they were real little and I could control everything. I was real cautious about everything that I let them have. And of course, as they get older, then they know about things and they want it. But when they'd go to stay with Granny and Pap, Granny and Pap was big on Little Debbie's, so there's always Little Debbie's there. Well, it wasn't that I necessarily objected to them having a Little Debbie, but I would want them to eat something else first, you know, not just Little Debbie's. But I remember one time Daddy told me, I don't know if I wasn't getting on to him, but I must have been fussing about it or complaining or something. And he said, "Why, your body just takes what it needs, Tipper. It just takes what it needs from what you're eating and gets rid of the rest." So I don't really think that's how it works, Daddy, but but that was his view. So,
Problem is, there ain't nothing in Little Debbie that it needs.
yeah, well, that's true.
That's what's wrong.
That's true.
I like them too, but they ain't. I mean, they're not good for you.
Matt loves the peanut butter ones and the
Zebra cakes.
zebra cakes
Yeah,
and the
Christmas tree
oatmeal.
cakes.
What don't you like though? Now I start naming them. You like them all.
Yeah. But I don't eat them like I did years ago. I don't know. I just
You
eat them
don't,
occasionally.
No, you don't. I guess.
Because it's just. I mean, if I eat like I did 20 years ago, I'd feel bad all the time.
Yeah. My favorite Little Debbie, we don't, like I said, that's right, we don't buy them or eat them. But I guess I went, in high school, I went through a spell where I took my lunch every day and I ate like a ham sandwich with mayonnaise, just ham and mayonnaise, and a fudge round. And that was my lunch every day.
Yeah.
but I think I got foundered on them. Then I couldn't eat them for a long time. And
Yeah.
I hadn't ate one, I don't know when now, but.
Well,
And I used to like the Swiss cakes because I would unroll them,
Oh, yeah.
unroll them as
Yeah.
I eat them, peel the chocolate off,
Mhm.
and then unroll them. My friend Beverly loved Debbie's, and I guess she's probably who taught me that I can unroll the Swiss cake.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like all that stuff too much. We just don't eat it much.
I never liked oatmeal pies much, but and then Matt likes the tick pies, what he calls tick pies,
Yeah.
the raisins.
Yeah, what are they actually called?
Raisin pies,
Raisin pies.
I guess,
They look like little
raisins,
ticks in them. The raisins do, so I was calling them tick pies.
Granny likes is it Nutty Buddy?
Yeah, I like those
Nutty
too.
Buddy. I never liked those. I guess fudge round and Swiss rolls. These are the two that I like.
I reckon I just like all of them. I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah. Well, that's all right.
Don't judge.
No, I'm not judging you.
I don't eat them that much. There's actually some in the house in there, and they've been there quite a while, and that's not how it used to be. If they were
No.
there, they'd get eaten just in a couple of days. But they've been in there, I don't know how long, how many weeks. And
A
I've
long
not eaten.
time. Is that the ones Austin brought back from hunting trip?
Yeah, but there was some more that
Oh,
we
okay.
bought one of the times while you were gone,
Oh.
and I've not eaten. I strategically put them in a different spot, and then I don't
You don't see them, so you don't.
see them, so I
remember to eat
don't
'em.
try to eat them every time I walk by them.
Well, pretty soon we'll be doing our snacking out here in the great outdoors with our garden snacks, or yard snacks, Matt
Yeah,
calls them, with
yeah.
the Tommy Toes, which
Yeah.
are delicious. You got a buddy there on you.
What is it?
I don't know what it was, some kind of critter. Earlier today, a ladybug bit me. I don't know if it left a place or not. Ladybugs hurt even though they're little.
hmm
I don't even know where that one come from. I just felt something biting me and looked, and it was a ladybug.
They will bite you.
Well, I guess you ready for your next chore?
Yeah, I got to go start second shift here.
It's got to go to second shift, and I got to go to figure out what we're going to eat for supper. We hope you enjoyed spending time with us today as we did our first real planting of the year for this year's garden, and we're always grateful when you stop by to help us celebrate Appalachia.